everyone. It is Kay McKenzie and Manuel, and we're back with another amazing podcast. And today we're going to talk about why your content is not converting. So, if you've been spending hours building content for social media, sending out emails and writing blogs, and nothing seems to be working, then you definitely want to be listening to this podcast because we have a lot of gems that we're going to be dropping today. So, I'm really excited for it. I'm Kay, I'm a marketing coach. I help female high ticket coaches to boost their lead and sales conversion. And Manuela here, she's going to go ahead and introduce herself.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me again, Kay. So my name is Manuel, the owner of Two Sides. We work with high ticket clients, building autopilot systems for them. So, attracting clients on autopilot. So we're going to talk about content today.
Certainly. So we are going to talk about content like we just shared with you. So I see a lot of people sharing content on social media daily, especially having a Facebook group of over 72,000 members. Content is constantly being put out and it doesn't seem to be getting any traction. There is a problem and you really need to take a pause. This doesn't mean that you need to create more. I know Gary Vee said create 10 posts daily and just keep posting. I don't know who has time for that unless you have a team. If you're a solopreneur, you're going to get burnt out pretty fast. And Gary Vee, he's really phenomenal at what he does, but I have no idea what he's talking about, sharing 10 posts per day on every platform. Good Lord. It's like, I can't imagine.
Like,
right. Yeah, it's really, really crazy. All right, so like we said, if you are producing content and you're not seeing the income, in your bank account, you need to take a pause. You need to really look at the strategy that you're using. And there's a few areas that we're going to cover in this conversation. It's not really just about content. There is a starting point, and you want to make sure you have a clear idea of who your avatar is or your ideal client is, because you want to be, that is going to be the starting point of the messaging that you're going to use. And you also need a system as well, but we're going to go more into the system. Manuela, do you want to add to this from here?
Yes. So, okay, let's understand why. Okay, because I see this all the time. As if we don't understand the reason why we do things, if we don't understand the reason why things are not working, we're not gonna move forward. So why isn't your content converting, or any content at the moment? They dropped the conversions. Well, when we started 10 years ago, Instagram really wanted you to succeed. Why? Because they were starting as well, so it was a win-win. Nowadays, they are established, they have a lot of users. So what do they want right now? They want money in their bank accounts. Obviously, they want to make the return over investment they've done 10 years ago, right? So they're going to start putting the algorithm down and obviously asking people to invest in ads, etc. But there is a little secret in here. Why isn't your content converting? Is it only because of the algorithm? I think we have people who, can grow online and convert, right? No, it is not. The reason why the content isn't converting it has to do with your algorithm, but it has to do with something else way more powerful. AI. Nowadays, Instagram released their AI, right? So everything that you're gonna see right now in your Instagram is gonna be way more tailored to you. And what is Instagram telling us with a search bar inside their platform? They are saying to us, hey, all content producers, we want you to be way more like SEO and like Google, very specific in your messaging, very specific in the things you're saying, with specific tips, etc., than being a generalist. And that's where we start our problem. Most coaches out there, they are still generalists. So what Instagram, the whole social media platform, is asking us is, can you be specific? Because if you are specific, I'm going to distribute you more. So if you are still on the fence thinking, should I have a very specific niche? Yes, the answer is yes. Okay, so number one.
Absolutely. You definitely have to niche. There's this analogy that I use. Let's say you have someone who has just broken their foot. Are they going to go to a general doctor or are they going to go to a podiatrist who's an expert? You consider they have this broken foot, they're in so much pain, they can't bear it for another day. Of course, they're not going to go to the general medical doctor. They're going to go to a specialist. So in marketing, you have to think about it like that. You have to become a specialist at what you do or an expert at what you do. And there's this saying as well, if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. If people read your content and they can't identify themselves in it, they're going to ignore because they're like, well, they're not talking to me or they're not an expert. They can't help me. So there's nothing here for me to benefit from. So they just ignore your post. So it's really important to have a niche. And I think a lot of people avoid niching because they feel as if that they are going to miss out on a client. But by not niching, you're doing exactly that. You're missing out on a ton of clients. And also, it's very expensive to market to everyone. This is why I don't understand this as well. So,
Yes.
not sure what's holding you back from niching, but it's definitely something that you need to do absolutely until you get established and then you can start expanding. Manuel, go ahead.
Yeah, look, I was gonna mention I have a lot of clients who used to do multiple seven figures, and some of them are right now doing less than 10,000. Why? I mean, they were there, established, good, niche, 90% of the times. 10% of the times, their systems. Okay, so you have to niche down. And the reason why this is not converting and you have to niche down is we have 10 million people advertising online. And obviously, I'm not the kind of person that I'll be like, oh, there are lots of competition, so I'm not even gonna go out there. But you cannot deny there are a lot of people there. So I've seen some people saying there is no competition, you are the only one. Yes, that's the goal that you have. But until you but if you're doing the same as everybody else, yeah, you are in the red ocean. So step number one to get out of the red ocean, having your niche. Step number two, having a unique mechanism.
Interesting as well. I ask, I think a few months ago, I've probably asked this question in my group a few times. It's, do you study your competition? And they would say, no, I don't. Well, do you think, I was like, how do you know if you're different, if you're not analyzing, doing some sort of market research of what's out there? And they're like, oh, I'm unique because there's nobody. Okay, that's cute. But then
Yeah,
the data would say
I love
otherwise.
it.
You definitely need to do some research, do some market research on your competitors as well,
Yeah.
see what they're doing, and then you can also find an opportunity in that. What are they not doing that you can provide a solution for? So whenever I hear people say that they don't, analyze their competitors, I'm like, yeah, that's really cute. Let me know how that works out for you.
And it is so important because okay, I love that you said that. Can we make a pause in the content here and say something super important? Guys, online businesses are not a hobby. You know, they are not a hobby. They are not. So as soon as you start dealing with your business with this is a business. What does a business have? Market research, competition research, marketing, sales, admin, all the things that a business has. That's what you need to start implementing in your online business to make it strong so you're not going to be in the yo-yo forever, right? So I love that you said that, Kate. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of your competitors is also where you can get clients. That's like a trick of mine. I have an e-commerce business, and in order to get clients, sometimes I go on my competitors' page and interact with their audience. So that's a bonus tip for you. Right. So you want to make sure that you niche down. There's this one book, it's a phenomenal book. It's called The One Page Marketing Plan. And it talks about not having a niche. It means you're a small fish in a big ocean, but when you niche, you become a big fish in a small ocean. And if you have a unique mechanism, you even become a bigger fish in a smaller ocean. So I think that's really phenomenal as well, to try to niche down as much as possible to separate yourself from the rest of your competitors.
Yeah. And let's humanize the word niche. What does that mean? Becoming a specialist. And if we see the world, the way the world is structured, the outside social media, um, we have university, post graduation, master, and then doctorate. So, what is this telling us? Specificity. I'm a psychologist, I'm a clinical psychologist, I'm a depression clinical psychologist, I'm a neurodepression clinical psychology of the serotonin, whatever. That's what you do when you specialize. That's the nature. So unconsciously your client is looking for that. He's looking for the best in their industry. And how do you show them you are the best? Well, if you're starting out, you need a unique mechanism, you need a super niche. That's not an option for you. Why? Because that's the only way you can show them, look, I'm different from these people. Even though I'm starting out, I'm different because of this, and that. And that's your logical explanation. That's your unique mechanism. If you're not starting out and you're growing already, then yes, you need a niche. Yes, you need a unique mechanism, but you also need more. You need volume. So you need a bigger system. You need more touching points. You need your content to arrive to more people because you're not going to be doing content all the time. So that's where you start with paid ads, and it doesn't have to be a lot. That's when you start, expanding your reach in this level of awareness for your clients to go through the mere exposure effect. That's why everybody produces content on social media. It's not about the content, it's not about relating to people. Mere exposure effect. The more people see you, the more they trust you. So if
Absolutely.
you're producing a lot of content but nobody's seeing you, you're not doing the mere exposure effect. So instead of producing 10 pieces of content per day, like Gary Vee said, you can produce one per week if you distribute to more people.
I was going to say there are a few people in my friends list that I've been having conversations with. I don't mean to put them on blast, and I'm not really doing that, but I have no clue what they do. And it's so important to convey to others, around you, what you do as well. And think about it when it comes to niching and unique mechanism. Think about it this way: your client don't have a lot of money. Let's say they only have $5,000 to solve their problem. Are they going to go to someone who's a jack of all trades, or to a specialist? If you think about it from that perspective, it should motivate you to want to become more niche and have that unique mechanism. All right, so we've talked about. Go ahead, Manuel.
I just want to, don't ever think that you are the last. Do you have this expression in English? The last cookie in the package? So you're like, the last cookie is the one that you're like, oh my gosh, it's the last one. Like, I need to eat it well, right? You're
Fair.
not. Nobody, no, none of us are. We are not special. So if you have a crappy Instagram, you're not special. You need to level up. If your content isn't converting, oh, but I love my content. It's a great content. No, it is not, because it's not converting. So we need to break our egos if we want to be in business, and accept that sometimes we are wrong and sometimes we need a different strategy. That happened to me all the time. I used to be like, no, I want to do this way. And
Yeah.
no, it's not working. So yeah, just wanted to add that.
Yeah, definitely. You can't think of yourself as the last cookie in the jar, but you want to make sure you're telling them that you're the best cookie in the jar. Um, a lot of people fall into this trap. They have this guru telling them to do that, to do that. There's going to be a lot of trial and error, and you have to find out what works for you as well. All right, so once you have your niche and unique mechanism, this is what's going to inform your messaging. Now you can start creating content that's going to speak directly to your target audience and attract the right audience, not just anyone. You want to attract the right person. This is why it's so important to, be clear on what your niche is and what your unique mechanism is.
I'll give you a real case study so we can understand, okay? We have this client, and her funnels were not converting so well. Like she wasn't having the amount of calls she wanted, the ads were not working, all the things you already see. And as soon as I looked into her copy, you already know the reason why. So
Yeah.
people promise. So I'll give you this example. Imagine that you are a nutritionist, and instead of talking, and you keep telling people, look, you need to lose weight and you need to balance your hormones. That's your thing. That's your hormones. You balance your hormones. That's what you need to do. Nobody wants to do that. So you're not selling the transformation. You're not communicating the transformation. You're talking about the journey.
Yeah.
If I go to a travel agents and they tell me, look, the airplane is powerful, is strong, and you're gonna, they have blankets. I don't want to be in the airplane. I want to be in Rome, right? I don't want to be in the airplane. And most people, when they are conveying their message, they are in the airplane. They are not in Rome. So where is your Rome? What is the Rome for your avatar? That's what matters to them. And especially right now with attention spans fading away, we know a lot of people advertising, a lot of people on social media. If you're not giving them what they truly want, they're just going to scroll up. It has to be there. It has to be fast. So as soon as we changed the how, for the transformation, for what they want or what their pains are, her conversions happened. And you know that, you saw it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that as well. And I think there's a saying, I forgot how it goes, but it's something like customers only care about what's in it for them. They don't care about the how. It's like, what am I going to get from this? Like, give me the details. Once they become clients, then, or if some may ask, but very small number will ask how. They just want to know what is the transformation. And another thing with your message, you want to make sure it's cohesive against all touch points. You can't just in your Facebook ads says, hey, I do this, and then in the emails it says something else. You want to make sure your messaging is cohesive across. If you're doing ads, if you're doing social media posts, if you're doing stories, if you're doing emails, if you're doing blogs, you want to make sure that your message is cohesive across all channels and touch points. It's another great thing to keep in mind. We also had another client where looked at the ads or looked at the messaging, and then the emails were a bit different as well. And I was like, okay, so here's your problem. It's not really, you're losing customers via email. So you want to fix that. Take some time to improve that to boost your conversion.
Especially because when we are talking about business or anything that is wrong in our business or anything that is going well, our brains, humans are like that. They tend to isolate that thing that's alone. But the reality is that your business is an organism. So sometimes one thing here impacts one thing here. And that's exactly what you're saying. Sometimes your email communication is impacting your ads conversion and you have no idea. So yeah, I think that's really important. Look, just to summarize so we can do this as an easy digest, what do you need to do? Be more specific in your niche. Convey your message right. Have a unique mechanism, a way to be different. Be authentic in your social media. Don't copy other people, because as I'm telling you, you don't even know if their funnels are working truly,
Yeah.
and you're copying them. So
Okay.
don't do that. Understand the foundations behind what's happening. Like I told you, what does Instagram want from you? Why are you producing content? And then based on the actual foundations, you build your content strategy in a way that fits you and not following rules. We have foundations, we have rules. Forget about the rules, focus on foundations, because that's when you find your unique mechanism as well, and you do things differently.
Right. And foundation is what needed to build a strong business as well. Hopefully, this was very insightful for you. I believe it is. And until next time, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure sharing with you.
I think we have an invitation, don't we?
Masterclass, right? Yeah, we have an amazing masterclass coming up. It's going to be on October 6th, which is a Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be an exclusive event, so you have to register if you want to attend. And there is some amazing free goodies if you do register. We're going to teach you how to build a human AI automated system that you can book 5 to 10 qualified sales calls daily, all on autopilot. So I'm really excited about this. Manuel, you want to add to that?
Yeah, so we're gonna show you how you can get similar results to, for example, Wendy, who went from 0 to 24,000 months in, I think it was 4 months or 5 months, and she had no Instagram, no authority online with a high ticket sale. Or Sam, who went from 0 to 10, 15K months, or Trapper, who went from 14K months to 1 million, 2 million in a month. Terry, our recent case study, from 40K months to 990,000. So, I mean, it is a funnel that is worth having a look, because we're not going to give you just any funnel. This is a system. So you're going to understand the foundations. So you don't have to go find another funnel when yours stop working, because funnels are going to stop working all the time. So come and join us. You're going to see the foundations. You're going to start booking sales calls every day. And yeah, click below and book. We're
There you
excited.
go. Go ahead, click and register.
Yes.